What is the saddest truth about smart people? The ability to understand most possible outcomes and the consequences often leads to hesitation or inaction, as opposed to some who damn the consequences and just go for it. Analysis paralysis. Best advice I've ever received: keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes ignorance truly is bliss. Edit, typo. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. Forgot where this is from. It's Ernest Hemingway. Smart people can often see the bad stuff coming and can also see that it really isn't preventable unless people can be convinced to change their behavior, and people can rarely be convinced to change their behavior. It's depressing watching negative events unfold that you predicted. More often than not, being proved right is really depressing. Most smart people never find meaningful application for their intelligence. In employment, generally underutilized. They do in the form of hobbies/interests, but unless they're working in some sort of specialized field, it is rarely monetized. I was a career nanny for 10 years. I worked for 2 families where the parents were doctors. One set specially, 2 extremely successful doctors, 1 anesthesiologist and a cancer research doctor. I saw their lives from the most intimate view due to working 50+ hours in their home with their children. The saddest thing is that a lot of them are so smart that they stand out as the oddball in all non-academic situations. This is abundantly clear when watching them try to make connections with other, more of average IQ parents. They're almost just too brainy and awkward. I have to assume this is a lifelong struggle. It just seems isolating at times, I guess is my point here. They're almost just too brainy and awkward. When you passionately work in a very specific niche of research, that work can take up your whole mind. You love work, you're brilliant at it, it's your big thing. Then you're at a party where everyone talks about the last soccer game, THST new Netflix series, and the latest trends in romance novels. And you realize you were so deeply focused on work that you never saw any of that. This is abundantly clear when watching them try to make connections with other, more of average IQ parents. They're almost just too brainy and awkward. I have to assume this is a lifelong struggle. Every Redditor thinks this is them. The fact that growing up smart, or being told you're better or above average, leads to a burnout, anxiety, and depression. People don't like smart people, they like smart people giving them good results. Underrated comment. If you never face a challenge when you're young, it's really scary, confusing and crushing even when you face your first challenge in college, or just in life in general. Smart people are good at identifying problems. Normally they are not able to solve them because of outside factors. Smart people live in a world where everything is broken and no one will allow them to fix it. This kills me at work. We have a ticketing system at work that's vastly underutilized. We could improve our workflow by using templates for common issues, fix formatting problems, and importing info we have available. Brought the idea up to my boss, made a demo, and they said it's a good idea but takes too much paperwork to do. Never got to show them the demo for fear of them rejecting the idea, then implementing it later and taking credit. So now I just use whatever tools I can make and keep it quiet. Isn't that the truth? It's not even necessarily smart either. Sometimes it's just you happen to have a certain education or expertise. Intelligence is often paralyzing, and if intelligence is paired with a pessimistic mindset, you'll probably never live up to your potential. Don't at me like that. Damn. I'm in this comment and I don't like it. Being smart is a practice. You can have potential for intellectual aptitude, but your mind must be exercised. Too many smart people from high school/childhood get out into the real world, are met with challenge for the first time, sink into their comfort zone, and then never do a smart thing again. This is really true, especially when they're rewarded for their products and not their efforts. That is understandable, and replicated in the adult world too, but it does make people surprised and at a loss when they encounter something they can't solve immediately or easily. You see a lot of people these days talk about how formally gifted students tend to struggle as they get older, and it's largely because of this. You can somehow just be smart in grade school and have everything come easily to you, but the flip side is that it robs you of the experience of actually learning how to learn things. I went through this in my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college. I was a lifetime 4.0 student and very nearly failed a class my first semester of college because I could no longer just listen in class and then go ace every test. I had to actually take notes and study them and shit. Wild stuff. Truly smart people can thrive if they have social skills. If they don't, you would never know they are smart. I think having excellent social skills and the ability to connect with others, empathize with others, and perform emotional labor is a type of intelligence that doesn't get enough credit. It's hard work. There's a book called Iconoclast which has the same premise. Written by a neuroscientist, it delves deep into how two people with similar genius can achieve completely opposite results during their lifetime. For example, Picasso versus Van Gogh, who died pretty unrecognized, or the guy who came up with the idea for FM, he ended up committing suicide. He had the far superior tech than AM but lacked the social aptness to get his ideas accepted. A lot of them will never get any recognition. So many smart kids will never even know how smart they are, because they get no opportunity to learn and grow their skills. They just live and die in some slum, mine, or field. Just because you're smart enough to see what's wrong with the world doesn't mean you're capable enough to change it. Just because you're smart enough to see what's wrong with yourself doesn't mean you're capable enough to change it. You might form your identity around and measure your self-worth by your talent, your achievements, and the praise you get from others. And that's no way to live life. Many smart people, including some friends I know who perhaps could have been much more talented than myself, are flawed in other ways that prevent them from really making anything of their potential. It's really sad. What's even more sad is that society likes to gang up on them instead of helping them, because it's really satisfying to some to hear about the flaws that bring talented people down to earth. Society will pave a golden path for above-average people, but turn their backs on the ones who are exceptional, usually because those people rock the boat too much, see things the world doesn't want to see, or are generally really awkward and weird as a result of never quite fitting in. If you're one of those kids, you have to end up in the right place, or you will be left behind. 4 and 5. So real. To paraphrase Socrates, smart people learn from everything and everyone, average people from their experiences, stupid people already have all the answers. Agreed, but what makes that saddest? Seems aspirational and inspiring to me, I mean, the smart portion, not the stupid portion. To paraphrase Socrates, often I ponder the immortal words of old Socrates who said I drank what? Having high intelligence make you think a lot and very fast. Which is often good, but if you get anxiety, now you have turbo anxiety. Constant and multiple thoughts that never cease. Hyper-turbo accelerated whirlpool anxiety. A good sleep can reset it, but sometimes it stays for days. That smart people usually overthink stuff more than rather just do it. Analysis paralysis. Chidi Anagonye has entered the chat. And exited it. And entered it again. And gotten a stomachache. Living in the shadow of your failed potential and being completely aware of it. Damn. I think the book of Ecclesiastes puts it best, for with much wisdom comes much sorrow, and as knowledge grows, grief increases. Or, as you/Sharanda say it in this post, one of the first signs of the beginning of understanding is the wish to die. Quote from Franz Kafka: the more someone gets this world we live in, the more depressing this life becomes. For loads of people don't care about love, sharing or caring, money rules all. The absurdity can lighten things a bit. Seeing the comedy in so much of how we go through life with a fundamental appreciation that absolutely nothing matters. One thing I see pretty often is that dumb people tend to think they're smarter than they are. Smart people don't seem to realize how smart they are. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect and applies to like anything that requires any sort of skill or competence. Seriously. I know this girl, smart as a whip but legit just doesn't use it. If you watch her go about life, she honestly seems like a bit of a ditz, but as soon as she actually uses her brain it's incredible. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.